It's Collective Live!
Welcome, Collective Youth. Today we are going to be celebrating a special moment here. And 1 year ago, if you did not know, we had a baby and Collective was born. And so we named our baby Collective. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go around the circle here and we're going to share some of our favorite memories or favorite moments from Collective so far. So Chris, why don't you get us started?
So last year, one of my favorite moments was back at CIY when in the guys' dorm on the last night of CIY, we had an all-out war with Nerf guns, sunscreen, and cheese dip. It was pretty amazing.
One of my favorite moments was at Winter Escape during the snowball fight. It was a lot of fun.
One of my favorite things from the past year was when we ordered all of the Collective merch and everybody was started repping Collective and wearing shirts that say "You Matter." It was just awesome to see everybody just grab onto that and run with it.
One of my favorite memories and moments was in my small group and just some of the silly and goofy conversations that we have.
My favorite moment from the past year was pranking you nerds into sticking your feet into some SpaghettiOs for gift cards that weren't actually in there. Spaghetti toes! And then getting an egg smashed on my head. But seriously, that was so much fun.
One of my favorite moments was not just one moment, but 13 moments where we had 13 students give their lives to Jesus this school year.
My favorite moment is when we took students to Papio Fun Park and watching Jacob Lilly drive around in a go-kart when he waved to me and then slammed into a wall. I hope you're okay.
Hey guys, those were all great moments and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you have any other moments that are your favorite, go ahead and leave them in the chat and we would love to read alongside with you guys. Now we are gonna jump into our show tonight and it's gonna be great. Brandon is gonna be kicking off our new series called Zero to Hero. Before we do that, take a look at this video.
Hey everybody, thank you guys so much for sending in the videos of you guys doing anything that you wanted. Let's go ahead and check out some of our favorites from this past week.
Oh, there goes one. Oh. Oh. Oh, she's dead.
Oh, hey everybody. Well, this week we got a challenge for you guys where I want you to send us a video of you giving us a tutorial on how to do something. Whatever you want to do. So I got this thing, don't know what it is. Got this thing, don't know what it is, but I'm gonna do something. So if you guys want to teach me how to tie your shoes by singing a song, sounds good. We would love to see it. Send us a video of you teaching us how to do something. All right, we'll see you next week.
Hey everyone, for this week's Leader vs. Leader Challenge, we have Jenna taking on Chris in some classic one-on-one basketball. But we're gonna add a little twist and we're gonna change some rules on them. Everything is worth 1 point no matter where they shoot it from. Stay with us, it's gonna be awesome. Here we go. All right guys, I want a clean game, so let's shake hands before we get started. We're gonna do a tip, that works just fine. We're gonna do a tip off to see who gets ball first. Here we go. I think that ball goes to Chris. Okay. Let's go. Chris up with a shot, misses. Rebound by Jenna. All shots are worth 1 point. Oh, first shot of the day made by Jenna. All right, Jenna, what you did, so you made that first shot, you're up 1-0. Now your next shot, you have to make it with your opposite hand. So are you right-handed? Yeah. Okay, you can only shoot with your left hand. Here we go. Oh, lefty. Oh my goodness, Jenna gets up to an early 2-0 lead. So now to make it a little more difficult for you, you have to shoot the ball backwards into the hoop. So you can dribble however you want, move wherever you want on the court, but when you shoot the ball, your back has to be facing the hoop. Good luck. Oh, nice layup, nice layup. Okay, so Chris is down. Chris, you're gonna have to make this next shot doing only James Harden step backs. Okay, so what that means is you can keep stepping like this, keep stepping like this. You don't even have to dribble, but you can only take step backs. Good luck. Oh, he ties it up with a deep James Harden. Ball back up top to Chris. The game is tied 2-2. Here's what we're gonna do. Chris, you wanna grab that hula hoop right there? Yeah, a hula hoop. I know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Chris, you have to keep that hula hoop in your hand at all times. I don't care what hand you hold it with, but you have to be having hold of that hula hoop the whole time. Good luck. Game is tied 2-2. Oh, using that prop as a way to get some separation. Up and out by Jenna. Jenna, you still have to shoot backwards. Oh, Chris is gonna use it. Jenna just goes back, right over him. It doesn't even matter. Jenna takes a commanding 3-2 lead. Huge in this game. It really could blow it open. Jenna, you don't have to shoot backwards anymore, but you have to be on one leg. I don't care what leg it is. You have to hop around on one leg while you're trying to shoot this next one. Good luck. Oh. Chris still has to take it up top, still has the hula hoop in hand, and Chris was using it as a shield last time, even though there's a giant hole in it. He goes back, oh, he tries to hit it! Not even close, not even close. We're gonna give that ball back up to Jenna up top, and then she'll have to hop on one leg again. Oh, Chris is using it to poke it away. Look at that defense. Jenna's gonna have to go up with it on this one. Chris blocked it with the hula hoop. He's gonna have to take it up top now. He's still got that hula hoop. This has become more of a weapon, and maybe, he switches hula hoop hands. Look at this guy. Who does he think he is? Oh, he's holding it around. Fade away, and it's in. Oh my goodness, we are tied 3-3. Chris gets it back on top. Chris, you can put that hula hoop down. Chris, so for this next one, you tied it up 3-3. You're going to have to shoot this next one doing a hook shot. So you can dribble wherever you want, move wherever you want around the court, but you have to do a hook shot, and Jenna's going to know it's coming. Hook shot. Oh, and it's in by Chris. Chris, the comeback kid Randall, up 4-3. Next one could win it. So this could be game point for Chris. Chris, you are going to have to do this next shot as a granny shot. So you can dribble wherever you want, move wherever you want again, but you're gonna have to shoot it as a granny shot. Good luck. Not even close. Jenna gets the ball back. Jenna still has to hop on one leg, so once she gets inside of that three-point line, she has to hop on one leg. Backing him down in the paint. Oh, easy hook over Chris. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to abolish all of the previous rules, and you're gonna have to both play on your knees. The first one to score when you're both on your knees wins. All right, Jenna's driving hard to the basket. Looks like she's going for a layup. Chris playing some tight D. Jenna's hitting a fadeaway. No, she misses it. Chris is gonna have to take it back to the top of the free throw line. He doesn't have to go all the way back. Oh, Chris is making his way there. Dribbling at the speed of light. Stephen Curry reactions here. Oh, he's hitting her with the crossover. Chris is rolling. He puts it up at the free throw line. Airballs it. He hits an air ball. Jenna's gonna start with it back up top at the free throw line. This might hurt your knees and it looks like it's kind of tiring you guys out, but you know what? We're doing this for the students, we're doing this for the leaders and the fans of the sport of basketball. Chris is playing kind of off the ball here. Let's see if this strategy helps. Let's see if Jenna goes with that similar strategy of trying to put the ball in the hoop before Chris can. Chris is hitting a good shuffle step. Jenna, again, driving hard to the right, switches it, has a turn with the hook shot. It's up and in! Jenna has won with a score of 5-4. So Jenna is the winner of this week's Leader vs. Leader Challenge with a score of 5-4, stopping Chris's comeback. Can we get some hashtag boot Chris in the chat, please? And if you wanted Jenna to win and she ended up pulling out, let's give Jenna some love in the chat. That's all we got for you this week. We look forward to seeing you next week for a Leader vs. Leader Challenge.
Have you ever seen someone who looked like they had it all together? I mean, you might think about the quarterback or the homecoming queen, or maybe you think about those popular students at your school that just can't seem to do anything wrong. Like they've got it all. Everybody loves them, no matter what choices they make. Or you might think on a larger scale. Maybe you think about professional athletes or musicians, media tycoons, or social influencers. These people seem like they've got everything. They've got money, they've got fame, they've got connection and influence, and it seems like the sky is the limit for them. But every now and again, we see these people fail. They make decisions that derail the trajectory of their life. They make bad moves and they alter their course in major ways. One example I think of is a guy named Michael Jordan. Now, Jordan is arguably the best basketball player of all time. The guy's won MVP awards, scoring titles, and championships. The list goes on and on. His team, the Chicago Bulls, won 3 back-to-back championships in 91, 92, and 93. At this point, Jordan was at the pinnacle of his career when he made one decision that would alter not only his own life, but the game of basketball forever. Jordan decided that he was going to retire from basketball and try his hand at professional baseball. Now, baseball for Jordan was not the move. He floundered in the minors for about a season, and let's just say he wasn't good. He was nowhere near as successful on the baseball diamond as he was on the basketball court. The worst part about this whole retirement situation was that it opened the door for the Houston Rockets to win 2 NBA championships. Jordan had it all. He was on top of the basketball world and made one decision that cost him. Now, the good news for MJ is that after an interplanetary invasion, a high-stakes game of basketball against some monsters, and a few heart-to-hearts with a rabbit, he decided it was time for a comeback. He went back to the game he was created to play, and the Bulls won 3 more straight championships. Why does this matter right now? This week we're starting a new series called Zero to Hero. In it, we're going to look at some people in the Bible that seem pretty ordinary, and yet God used them to do extraordinary and incredible things. This week, we're going to talk about a guy named Moses and how he led 500,000 people out of slavery and into a covenant relationship with God. But here's the thing about Moses. Before he went from zero to hero, he actually went from hero to zero. Let me unpack that for you really quickly. In the book of Exodus, we find the nation of Israel enslaved by the nation of Egypt. They basically made bricks and built pyramids. One day, Pharaoh, that's Egypt's leader, noticed how rapidly the Israelite population was growing. So he decided that he needed to do something to slow this growth down, or else Israel would become strong enough to overthrow Egypt. So he commanded that every Israelite boy that was born be thrown into the Nile River and drown. This is a problem. So this baby boy is born, and his mother decides that she's going to hide the fact that he's a boy for as long as possible. After about 3 months, she realizes that she can't hide this fact anymore. So she decides to make a floating basket, and she places that basket in the Nile River and begins to pray that God would do something miraculous. And guess what? He does. This baby is found by an Egyptian princess who decides to name him Moses, which means drawn out. And she decides to raise him as her own son. So Moses goes from being an Israelite baby condemned to death to being a member of the Egyptian royal family. Fast forward a few years and we find Moses walking around among the Israelites. By this time, he knows of his true heritage. He knows that he is an Israelite as well, and he notices the suffering of his people. And so as he's out walking around, noticing how the slave drivers are treating his people, he notices one that is just going after this Israelite guy, just beating him, trying to get him to work faster, and Moses gets enraged. And so out of nowhere, Moses attacks this Egyptian slave driver, kills him, and buries him in the sand. Long story short, Moses gets found out and he has to run away. Moses had it all, and then one decision changed his life. He fled to this place called Midian, he got married, and he got a job tending sheep for his father-in-law. He became a shepherd. And so this was a major status change for Moses. You see, back in these days, the shepherds were the lowest of the low. In fact, because they were so withdrawn from society all the time, they were considered nobody. So what we have here is Moses has made this trade. In one decision, he trades the palace for the pasture, his royal scepter for a stick, and his influence for isolation. And maybe this story sounds familiar to you. Have you ever made a trade like that? Have you ever felt like you had it all, and then in one moment you made one decision that derailed your entire life or cost you in a major way? Let's get back to Moses. One day Moses is out in the field with his sheep, and his zero to hero story really begins here. While he's there, he's kind of just doing his shepherd things, which basically amounts to making sure the sheep don't die and not getting sheep poop on your sandals. But he sees this strange sight, and it kind of piques his curiosity. There's a bush off in the distance, and Moses notices that it's on fire. And now, even though it's on fire, the bush itself is not being consumed by the flames. So Moses decides to investigate. And this is where we're going to pick up the story in Exodus chapter 3. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, "Moses, Moses." And Moses said, "Here I am." "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Then he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, "I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good, spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you. And this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." So Moses is standing out in a sheep pasture, now barefoot, talking to a bush. Just take a second and imagine what that looks like. I don't know, Barbara. Just having a really hard time figuring it out, you know? What do you think I should do with my life? For the rest of this chapter, Moses continues to throw excuses at God as to why Moses is not the right guy for the job. But God answers excuse after excuse, saying that he will be with him, and that he'll even use a Jedi mind trick on the Egyptians to convince them to give the Israelites resources and riches as they head out of town. But as we approach chapter 4, Moses remains unconvinced, and God asks an interesting question that I think is important for each of us today. Then the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," Moses replied. Then the Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." So Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." So Moses reached out and took hold of the snake and turned back into a staff in his hand. Now, at first glance, it's easy to read past this and just move on. In fact, as the chapter goes on, God continues to provide signs and miracles so that Moses will eventually go to Egypt. Eventually, God convinces Moses to go and take on this incredible task. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't an automatic win. In fact, a lot of people died on the way. And at some point, Moses would have to transition leadership to the next generation to finish the work that he started. But it all started when an ordinary, broken man took hold of an extraordinary task in order to build the kingdom of God. To us, it appears that Moses had a simple staff. But now, that defined who Moses was. He was a shepherd. It was more than a staff. It identified him. Every time he held that staff, he would remember what he gave up because of one wrong choice. That staff was now his identity. He was no longer royalty. He was nothing. And then in a moment, God changed that. Think about it. Moses says, listen, God, I'm not the guy. And God says, okay, maybe you're not. But what do you have? And Moses says, I've got this stick. And so God says, great, throw it on the ground. And Moses is like, but it's literally all I have left. It's my identity. It's who I am, but okay. So he throws it down and God turns it into a snake. Ah! God turns it into a snake. God uses his power to bring that simple staff to life. And it scares Moses. And he runs from it. And God says, pick it back up. So Moses takes it by the tail and it turns back into a staff in his hands. Moses, with nothing left to lose, said, why not? And the snake became a staff again. But now Moses has seen God's power on display. And that stick will forever remind Moses of that power and the fact that that power is with him. Moses uses that same staff to lead his people, over 500,000 of them, out of slavery and toward freedom with God as their king. But what does this have to do with us? See, God has called us all to do incredible things to help advance his kingdom. And every day he's asking us the simple question, what do you have in your hand? Some of us may identify with Moses. We have a staff. We've got maybe some leadership experience, a few resources, or some influence, and God is telling us to throw it down. But for others, maybe what we have is more like a twig. We feel like we don't have anything of substance to offer. Whether it's a staff or a twig or even a wood chip, God is saying to throw it down, whatever you have. Throw down whatever's holding you back. Let go of the things that define you, that you found your identity in, and let God turn it into something beautiful that will remind you of his power daily. And even if it scares you a little, pick it back up and walk in the power of God as he leads you to do the incredible work that he's prepared for you. So collective, let me ask you again, what do you have in your hand? Is it a staff or a twig, or maybe you feel like you have nothing at all? Give it to God. Let him use it for his glory and his purpose, because God uses broken people to build his kingdom. Let's pray. God, we thank you for who you are. We thank you that you love each and every one of us enough to have prepared work for us to do, to build your kingdom. God, we thank you that you're the kind of God that can multiply the little bit that we have and use it for your glory. Lord, whatever we're holding on to, we give it to you tonight, and we ask you to bring it to life. We love you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life into me. You have been so, so kind to me. The overwhelming, never-ending, reckless it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away, and oh, they overwhelm me, never-ending, reckless love of God. I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Some shadow. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
Oh, dude, cosmic brownies are terrible. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching in and tuning into Collective Live tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would encourage you guys this week to use the gift that God has given you to encourage other people and enhance His kingdom. That is all we have for you guys tonight. We will see you guys later, and we will see you guys in small groups.
Actually, I got it from Walmart. I feel like the icing smells like it.
Yep.
Go to groups.